Seen anything good recently?
No.
Okay.
IU's doing, theater's doing Fiddler next month.
Oh, they are?
I don't know if Heather's gonna be able to make it.
The theater department or like extracurricular?
No, theater.
Oh, I don't know that I saw that advertised. Oh, you know what? I think that's right. It's different than the IU Opera and Ballet website. Okay. Yeah.
They don't do this in the MAC, they do it in the theater.
What's the name of the theater?
Question.
When is it? Next week?
February,
Oh,
I can find my glasses.
yeah. We know a gal that's a musical theater major. Maybe I'll send her a message and see.
I think I still.
I wonder if she's in it. Does it post the cast list?
So last week, I was sitting here, you didn't notice I fell asleep.
No. Well, you know,
were-
it must have been so. You must have been so enraptured by the
You were just
spirit of rest.
relaxed in the
You were in the moment.
It was only for the moment.
Okay.
No, I was at peace with myself.
Yeah, for sure. Totally enjoying Shabbat.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Hello.
Shabbat shalom to those at home, and welcome those of you who are joining us via live stream. Happy New Year. It's the first Shabbat of 2023. I just got used to writing 2022 on my checks.
Who writes
The old
checks
joke.
anymore,
I know,
Rabbi?
right? I've actually had to write 3 checks in the last week.
Go
I
figure.
haven't written checks for 6 months.
There you go.
We begin on page 13 of our Siddur. We welcome Shabbat with the angels of blessing and peace.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachi Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leShalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachi HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni leShalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leShalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachi HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We welcome Shabbat with song. We welcome Shabbat with light as we continue on page 5 for the blessing over our Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, להדליק נר של שבת.
Amen. We continue on page 25 as we transition to Kabbalat Shabbat, the service for the welcoming of Shabbat. We begin with Psalm 96, page 25. Shir Adonai Shir Chadash.
Yallay, lallay, lay, yallay, lallay, lay, yallay, lallay, lallay, lay, lallay, yallay, lay, lay, lallay, lay, 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 lallay, yallay, lay, 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 yallay, lay, lay, lay. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, ספרו לגויים כבודו, בכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ונורא מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים, יאילי, כי כל אלוהי העמים אלילים, ואדוני שמיים עשה, הוד והדר לפניו, עוז ותפארת במקדשו, הבו לאדוני משפחות העמים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, שאו מנחה ובואו לחצרותיו, יאילי לילה 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 שבת שלום, שבת שלום, שבת שלום, Shabbat Shalom.
We continue on page 51 with the psalm for Shabbat, the psalm that Shabbat herself speaks. As the tradition says, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat. That means this is the song of the Sabbath. This is the song that Shabbat herself sings. Tov Lahodot L'Adonai. It is good to give thanks to God. We continue with the closing words on page 51.
Tzadik atah yifrach ke'erez barbanon yizker shetulim bevit Adonai b'chatzrot Eloheinu יפריחו עוד ינובון בשיבה דשנים ורעננים יהיו להגיד כי ישר אדוני צורי דלא הבלטבו.
We turn back to page 41 for Lecha Dodi, where we welcome the presence of Shabbat. We will sing the verses on 41 and 43 and rise and face the doors for the concluding verse on 47.
לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמעו וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו תפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קום יצאי מתוך ההפכה, רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התנערי מעפר קומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי, על יד בני שי בית הלחמי, קורבן נפשי גאלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Now that we have welcomed the presence of Shabbat into our midst, let us extend greetings of Shabbat Shalom to the ones around us.
Shabbat
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
That baby is greeting everybody.
I know.
He was here last week too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so cute. Crawling all over the place.
Oh, really?
Shabbat Shalom, yes.
He's a very chill little guy.
Huh?
He's a very chill little guy.
Yeah, so chill.
Enjoying services.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
How good and pleasant it is for friends and family to be together in harmony, and how good it is to give thanks to the name of the Eternal One as we continue on page 57 with the Baruch Hu, our evening call to prayer.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Amen. Please be seated. Let's continue on page 60. We'll read together in the English, an interpretive translation of the first blessing of the evening. Praised are you, God, ruler of the universe, who has ordained the rhythm of life. The day with its light calls to activity and exertion. But when the day wanes, when with the setting of the sun colors fade, we cease from our labors and welcome the tranquility of the night. The subdued light of the moon and stars, The darkness and the stillness about us invite rest and repose. Trustfully we yield to the quiet of sleep, for we know that while we are unaware of what goes on within and around us, our powers of body and mind are renewed. Therefore, at this evening hour, we seek composure of spirit. We give thanks for the day and its tasks, and for the night and its rest. Praised are you, God, who brings on the evening.
אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני,
Baruch hu Baruch Shemo.
המעריב הרבים.
Amen. As we've given thanks for the universal gifts of the changing of times and seasons, we give thanks for the unique gift of Torah, page 63.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגד יומם ולילה, יומם ולילה. ואהבתך לא תסור ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני,
Baruch hu Baruch Shemo.
אוהב עמו ישראל.
Amen. We rise for the Shema, page 65.
שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם בבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאורות ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
We continue silently on the following pages with the biblical selections.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם באמת.
Please be seated. We continue on page 79 with our song of freedom that Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang as they crossed the sea to the land of promise.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נולד תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני,
Shema.
גאל ישראל.
I think we can all agree that the Indianapolis Colts season is lost. And frankly, the team is unwatchable. Yeah. I know. Not afraid to speak truth to power. Now, I, as a Ravens fan, am still very much excited about their playoff possibilities, even though I know that they cannot measure up to the other powerhouses of the AFC. Still, anything can happen in the playoffs. And because I'm so invested in the NFL playoffs, I was watching football on Monday night, rooting for the Bills to beat the Bengals, an outcome that would have given the Ravens an inside track to winning the AFC North and a home playoff game. Now, the game's first few minutes totally lived up to its hype, with a quick touchdown and a field goal to make the score 7-3. A few minutes later, tragedy struck when Bills defensive back Damar Hamlin collapsed after a routine tackle on Bengals receiver T. Higgins. It was instantly clear that this was not a classic football injury, not even one of the most brutal like a torn ACL or a broken leg. The game stopped as medics raced on the field. His teammates were rightfully looking emotionally distraught. Football is inherently a dramatic form of entertainment. It's a live unfolding of events, the outcome of which are unknown to all, with men of the highest caliber of athleticism competing for victory. On Monday night, what unfolded was a human drama, broadcast on live television. Hamlin is 24 years old, 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. He ran a 40-yard dash in 4.6 seconds. He is in peak physical form and has conditioned himself to achieve this high level. The professional athlete is disciplined and cultivates natural gifts to pursue a goal. It's a deliberate choice undertaken freely and knowingly. It's one of the reasons that we watch sports. We want to see what the best of humanity can achieve in the physical realm. And this takes on a specific form in football because it is by nature a violent and dangerous sport. These athletes know that injury is part of the lifestyle, and so too is the glory of victory. It satisfies our desire to dominate and win. It is a modern gladiatorial combat orchestrated in a tamer way, and through the concept and practical application of a team who become brothers in arms, pushing one another to the limits to achieve personal and communal honor. It has sometimes been compared to war, but that analogy has limits. In football, the life of the player is not usually on the line. In actual battle, soldiers with weapons consciously attempt to take the life of their enemies. Football players and the audience watching are used to seeing sprains and tears and broken bones, and even years later, retired players' bodies breaking down. What happened on Monday night was very different. Seeing Hamlin's immobile body being treated by doctors doing CPR showed us how different it feels to be confronted with real life and death. In that moment, we saw these large, imposing physical men drop to their knees and humble themselves before God, crying out for help to give voice to their anguish for a fallen brother. Without knowing what else to do or to say when confronted with the limitations of their own abilities to help him, the Buffalo Bills, the Cincinnati Bengals, and millions of Americans closed their eyes and bowed their heads in prayer. They became examples to us that faith can help us in moments of despair and uncertainty. Religious people believe that the world we live in is part of a larger reality, something bigger than ourselves, affirming the existence of something we cannot see or physically touch. I was particularly moved by the words of ESPN analyst Dan Orlovsky, who is not Jewish, even though his name sounds Jewish, when he prayed on the air during a broadcast the following day. And he said, and I quote, God, we come to you in these moments that we don't understand, that are hard because we believe that you're God, and coming to you and praying to you has impact. We're sad, we're angry, we want answers, but some things are unanswerable. We just want to pray, truly come to you and pray for strength for Damar, for healing for Damar, for comfort for Damar, be with his family to give him peace. End quote. I found these words deeply powerful and moving. They were ecumenical and could be affirmed with an amen by anyone who was moved by them. The phrase thoughts and prayers has become derided in recent years, but it speaks to how we can connect to something foreign to us, something that we have no direct control over, but want to express feelings towards. Prayer might seem like an irrational response, but in moments like these, the only rational thing to do is pray. To say the things that we're feeling, to acknowledge that even though there are some things out of our control, we still care. Now, as of today, Hamlin is speaking, breathing on his own, and cognitively intact. We can thank the first responders and the medical professionals at the University of Cincinnati Hospital for that. We can also thank God. Did prayers help Damar Hamlin's health improve? Did God directly intervene in some sort of supernatural way? Those are questions that I cannot answer. They are above my pay grade. What I do know is that our prayers certainly help us connect to those around us who are concerned by allowing us to give voice to our anguish, our concerns, and our hopes, elevating our awareness of those who are in need and of God, the source of healing and comfort. With those words, I'd like to turn to our prayers for healing as we send prayers of healing and think of the following members of our community and loved ones: Larry Baker, Sue Graham Baker, Brian Donor, Amy Maurer Martin, Ron Safran, Ariel Shoshana Bat Esther Zelda, Andrew Whitson, Sandra Siegel, Carol Tandy, Chuck Bader, Bob Diskin, Sarah Bat Miriam, Lynn Mota, Lowell Wolfeld, Tzippi Bat Gittel, Fran Reed, Dolores Kasif, Naomi Tropp, Philip Rubenstein, Loretta Frank, Jenny Green, Linda Burton, Angela Fry, Jeff Linderman, Elaine Safran, Pearl Regenstrife, Wendy Waldman, Carl Goodfellow, Man Harris, Elaine Seidman, Dan Linderman, Marcia Hafner, Alan Norris, Jerry Greenberg, Kelsey Gill. And if there are those whose names you would like to add to our communal prayers, please do so as my glance passes yours. Thank you.
Michael Jensen.
Thank you. We pray for strength and healing, that all in need are restored to physical vitality and spiritual well-being. May each of us become an instrument of wholeness and blessing, bringing courage, cheer, and hope to those who hurt. May this healing come quickly, swiftly, and soon. We join together in song the words of our Misha Berach prayer, found on the back of your Shabbat leaflet, to express our desire for a refuah shlema, a complete healing for those in need.
Misha Berach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives the blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We continue on page 85. The words from the book of Exodus affirming the covenant of Shabbat between God and the people of Israel. Vishamru.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We rise and turn to page 87 for Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ויעמד דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחייך בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי תקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה תאמירם בעמה, ואמרו אמן.
We continue with the silent Amidah, pages 91 through 107. We use the traditional words of prayer and the prayers of our own heart during these moments of silent reflection.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא
יעשה
יעשה
שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. May be seated. We continue on to page 115 with Kaddish Shalem.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברכנותי וימניק מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דחו בית ישראל, בעגלה ובשמקרי ואימרו,
אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולם יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי תקודשה בריחו לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונקמתה תאמירן בימה ואימרו אמן. תתקבע צלתון ובעתון תכל בית ישראל קודם והונדי ושמי ואימרו אמן. יהי שלום רבה מן שמיים וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואימרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומה והוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואימרו אמן.
So I'd like to direct your attention to the back of our Shabbat leaflet. Cantor Melissa will lead us in a song. I have not heard this before, so I'm looking forward to it. It comes from our Torah portion this week, Genesis chapter 48, verse 16. It's a beautiful, beautiful scene where basically Jacob is being introduced to his grandchildren, Ephraim and Manasseh. And this is in chapter 48. And Joseph introduces his father to his own children. And as the story goes, Jacob famously switches hands and kind of reverses the blessing so that the younger Ephraim receives the blessing, the elder blessing. But regardless, Jacob blesses Joseph and his grandchildren with these beautiful words. The God in whose ways my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked, the God who has been my shepherd from my birth to this day, the angel who has redeemed me from all harm, bless the lads. Yivarech et ne'arim. In them may my name be recalled, and in the names of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and may they be teeming multitudes upon the earth. It's a really powerful scene of introduction and blessing with Jacob and his child Joseph and his grandchildren Ephraim and Manasseh. Set some music that I'm excited to hear. So
Yeah.
I'll turn to any directions.
I grew up with this song,
Wow,
so
okay.
maybe you'll recognize it.
Okay,
This
maybe
is
I will.
also the source for why we name our children after our loved ones, so it is a beautiful piece from Torah. Hamalach hagoel oti, Hamalach hagoel oti mikora, Yevarech et hane'arim, Yikare vahim shemi, V'shem avotai, V'shem imotai, Avram, Sarah, Yitzchak, Verivka, Ve'yitgu larov, Bekerev haaretz. We'll sing it again. Hamalach hagoel oti, Hamalach hagoel oti mikora, Yevarech et hane'arim, Ve'yikare vehim shemi, V'shem avotai, V'shem imotai, Avram, Sarah, Yitzchak, Verivka, Ve'yitgu larov, Bekerev haaretz.
It's nice. That's really nice. Beautiful melody. We continue on page 119, and we rise for the sanctification of our day with wine.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit כי הוא יום התחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
אמן.
לחיים.
לחיים. This one. Oops. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
Pretty good. L'chaim. We remain standing and continue on page 121 for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל עתיד גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתבחים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ועושה בארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכינו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום להשיבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. על כן נכבד לך ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד.
Mourners and those observing yard sites, please remain standing. In reciting Kaddish, we affirm our awareness of holiness in our lives and recognize that much of our experience of God's goodness, grace, and love comes to us through those whose lives have touched our own. On this Shabbat, we remember loved ones who have died in recent days and weeks. Pearl Wides Roth, Lori Larinsky. We keep them in our hearts alongside those for whom we mourn and those whose yahrzeits occurred in the last week, in loving testimony to the faith that links the generations. Those who mourn and all who remember during the recitation of the Kaddish, page 131. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Bi'amad divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, בחיי echon וביום echon ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירה מימיו ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. May the source of peace and comfort send comfort to those who are bereaved, peace to Israel and to the entire world. And to this we say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hey, glad you could join us. Happy New Year to everyone. First Shabbat of our Gregorian year. A couple of brief announcements. Torah Talk, 9 a.m. tomorrow. I'll be there. Hope to see you. This coming Monday, 7:30 p.m., Cocktail Judaism program on the state of anti-Semitism here at Beth-El, moderated by our education director, George Kelly, featuring Suzanne Rothenberg, BEZ member and ADL's associate regional director of strategy and growth, Indiana Community Engagement, and Trent Spoelstra, the ADL's regional director of Jewish community and young leadership engagement. And our local JCRC executive director, Jacob Markey, will share the impact of anti-Semitism on our local Jewish community as well. You can still RSVP to that, and hope to see you there. I think it's going to be a great program. Torah on Tap. We're having a challah baking class with Jackie Goldstein. Here she's a great challah maker. I've never sampled one of hers. I'm looking forward to it. That's Thursday, January 19th, 7:30 p.m. So tell all your friends in their 20s and 30s to come to that. Thursday the 19th, 7:30. I'll be there, but I'll be just as much of a participant than more so a participant than a leader. That will conclude our service. We will close with, on page 535, Esa Einai El Ha'arim, words from Psalm 121, a cry for help, a cry for hope, beautiful words of the psalmist.
Esa Einai El Ha'arim me'ayin be'ayin yavo ezri. Esa Einai El Ha'arim me'ayin be'ayin yavo ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai ose shamayim v'haaretz. Ezri me'im Adonai ose shamayim v'haaretz. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Good evening to everyone. Well, I am, but that's true. But I can still go. What was that? No, I'm not.
He's not.
I am not.